All right, welcome back to RevKev RC. I am back out at Peachtree with the JK-07. I've done some mods to this thing, so this is going to be either a redemption run, revenge run, or we're going to get sent packing with our tail between our legs again. Because what I'm out here to do is not necessarily to run the truck for fun, although it will be, is to test out some mods that I've done. If you watch previous videos, I did additional mods to my Proline 2.2 Baja Pros on the 2.6s. I went ahead and did add the 3M tape to the inside of the inner wheel ring to prevent the slippage left and right, in and out, because what it was doing, if you recall, is it was causing the inside of the tire to rub on the hub, the upper steering linkage right here, and that was starting to tear the tire up. And also it was making the tires perform less optimal. So I did that. I also reseated the bead to allow a little bit more of the tire to get sucked inside the clamping portion. So it's not actually seated on the bead itself of the tire. It's a little bit further in than it's supposed to be. So I'm thinking those two things combined will help prevent the slippage left and right, causing the wheels or the tires to bind up on the steering linkage up top as well. I talked about how, especially in the rear, well, basically only in the rear, the wheel was spinning and the tire was not. So it was making this entire section on both sides kind of like wrinkled up, like somebody was wringing out a rag, and it was getting stuck that way. So it kind of probably didn't really affect the performance, but it was stuck that way, and that's not how it's supposed to be. So we're going to see if reseating the tires and adding the tape made a big difference. And also I added the wheel weights. These are not Rlaarlo branded. These are from AliExpress, but they fit perfectly. They work well and they look pretty dang good. They are just in the front. That's for a trail truck that I want to perform well. I think that just some in the front is going to get me that little bit of extra that I needed to get over some of these obstacles out here, where the front just wouldn't stay down and give me the traction I needed. Also, you may notice I removed the front windows on both sides. I did that with a hot hobby knife using a butane torch. The reason for that is it's easier to keep this inside clean when you're cleaning it out, because I found that no matter how much water I tried to get in here and swish it around, I could never actually get the inside of the windshield clean, and it was driving me nuts. Also, I went ahead and put some drain holes down here, so any water that does go in here on the trail or during cleaning is going to drain out nice and easy as well. So those drain holes include ones back here, so when the body is in the upright position, everything that flows downward will come out of those holes and exit the body like it ought to. The other main reason I got rid of the windows is so I could get to the screws on the inside of these mirrors, because there's no other way to do it other than dropping the entire interior panel out, and that just wasn't going to happen for me. I didn't feel like doing that, because I found on a previous crash the driver's side or the passenger side mirror got super duper loose, and the screw is in there right over here, but on that side. So after removing the windows, I just got in there with an angled ball 2mm and tightened her right up, and she's good to go. So that's what we're going to do today out here at Peachtree. I drove 70 miles to get this done. We're going to try to get some good footage of it. If you didn't watch the previous videos of this thing out here at Peachtree, I encourage you to go watch those. They're pretty good. Any scenario where I had to use a winch, that's where we're going to go and focus our new mods on, to see if we can do those things without using a winch, with the exception of the last part of the video where I went over like a telephone pole. You know, there's just no way to do that. So that was mostly just for fun. Nothing that you would actually try in real life. So we're going to get this going. I'm going to stop talking. When we get out to the obstacles in question, I'm going to talk about it, and we're going to see just how well these mods have improved the performance of the JK-07. Let's get to it. All right, we're to our first obstacle that I was having difficulty before. This one I did not have to winch up, but I did have to use a bit of speed at the bottom to essentially get my suspension to settle up on the rock surface, because I just could not get it to pull from the bottom without doing the bump. So what I'm going to demonstrate here is, okay, I've got, well, first of all, let me just say, I have the same battery I ran last time with the same little small 3S pack up front, as I mentioned in previous videos way back. That I am using that battery to power the winch, although hopefully I don't need it. I didn't need it last time, but for this obstacle. But we're going to see if the weight and the dual stage modifications have proven worthy. So let's get after it. No more talking. You can see that rear tire deforming. And if you remember previously, I had to hop this. The front just would not settle. Now, it seems to me my right or my left rear is just a little bit caught on a lip. I think if I reapproach slightly to the right, I won't have that problem. It's actually slightly steeper. Yeah. So the JK is on this obstacle. It does not need to hop and jump to get it. I did not need to add a bunch of extra speed. I just needed to really just be more careful in my line selection. And the front stayed down and stable. And you can't see it right now, so I'm going to move the camera. I'll put you guys down here. Get you a good shot. Yeah. It's not obvious based on the camera angle how off camber and steep this is. But with the tire modifications, my foam seemed to be staying in place. And I didn't even rub the driver's side on that right side rock face. So far, this looks to be a worthwhile modification. If you have one of these and you're looking to stable that front end for, whoop, got a little too busy talking, not driving. You're looking to stable the front end. Oh, geez. You know, I did this before off camera. In any case, my driving errors aside, the obstacle that I wanted to show you that the weight, specifically the upfront weight, has really made the world of difference. So I'm going to cut this here. We're going to jump over to the next one. Okay, we're back over here. This is an obstacle that I tried many times to get up. There's the JK down here. I don't know if it's obvious, but that's a pretty steep climb. Now, where I was having the issue was coming up this step right here. I would get right here, the rears were touching, and the fronts weren't touching enough up here. I mean, obviously, when you look at this line, you've got a little V cut out that you basically have to take in order to keep your belly from rubbing too much and getting high centered. This is where I had to winch before, but I'm hoping with the additional weight and hopefully the more stable tire foams, I can drive up this and not have to winch. But either way, you know, winching's fun. It's scale, so we're going to count it. Let me stop talking, get the camera set up so you can see it. I'm going to try to get it as close to it was originally, so hopefully the differences will show through. Okay, I've got my phone tripod thing set up. Geez, this is steep. It's not obvious, but this is very steep. But I want to show you this little climb right here that's not even hard, but just demonstrates. I'm going to hold the phone as parallel as I think I can and drive just to this part up here because you can't really see this that great up top. I just need to see how steep this is from the get-go. The more that I look at this, the more I think the weight is not going to matter. But let's be, what's the word? Optimistic. Let's put this thing down. I'm going to need 2 hands for this. It's really this steep, but my phone mount falls over on the hill. Let me find something to prop this up with so you can actually see how it is. All right, that's a pretty decent representation. Just propping it up with my pocket knife. All right, last time I made like probably 5 attempts to do this on camera. I deleted them all because it wasn't successful, and then just filmed the winching portion. So we're gonna try to do this clean. Holy crap. I am eating all my words. Wow. Do you guys even understand what just happened? You saw the setup. That was crazy. Now, just for fun, I'm gonna drive up the rest of this, because last time I had to be a little bit careful, but now with these mods, probably not. All right, I got the camera propped up here on the ledge. This feels a little bit like cheating now. Let's stop it. Give you some. Something I keep forgetting to tell you guys, because I made a video about it, but I don't remember where I put it in the upload series. Take a look at my rock slider / steps. I have shaved those down significantly, so those are just not hanging me up on stuff like they used to be. All right, that is obstacle 2 clean. No winch, no traction boards, no nothing. The weight up front has been, honestly, probably even more important than any other mod regarding climbing up hills. And of course, because it's on the left and right side, it's going to help it keep stable on these side hills. So far, I'm extremely happy with these AliExpress up front. They're not wheel weights. They just bolt straight to the hub on the outside. It's just 4 screws. They give you 4 longer ones. They slip right over. They're a very nice tight fit. No rattle, no spaces, no nothing. I highly recommend. If I can find them again on AliExpress, because maybe you know how that goes, I will put them in the description of the video. All right, I'm back down here at the bottom. The JK-07 is still up there. Got her turned around off camera. I'm going to drive it down. I'm going to be putting the camera over there on that rock ledge, so you can watch it make the descent all the way down back the way we came. We'll see if that front biased weight is going to cause us to want to do a front flip right here. When I did it on the original video out here at Peachtree, I just took that route, which is quite a bit more tame. But let's just find out what happens and see if we can't do this clean on the way down. All right, I had to get the camera into a wide angle because there's a lot here. I'm back down here pretty far away. I can barely even see it. So I don't actually know if it's even in frame. That's got to be in frame now. Nice. That's clean. I put on the cruise control at the speed that you're witnessing, and it has made a very controlled descent. Go ahead and grab my phone because it's out of reach, and we'll move on. Okay, we'll call this obstacle 3. The final boss is coming up. It is quite a climb, and it is very steep, and the dangers if you fall are basically catastrophic. The JK-07 will not survive unscathed if if the final boss wins and I don't catch it. So this is a fairly reasonable climb. I did have to go through some water to get over here, so the tires are wet. You can probably see that. So there might be a good bit of slippage until we get a little bit of dry action. Or not. I guess it's just gonna go up. I don't want to add a whole bunch of throttle. If you look at that right, or the driver rear, you can see how it's doing that cinnamon swirl effect. That is what caused it to do that last time. It looks like it's doing it right now, but it seems like it is recovering as I roll backwards. There we go. Let's just not dawdle on the obstacle. And she goes right up. All right, I'm going to call obstacle 3 clear. That was a pretty obvious success. I'll drive her over through here. You can see through the trees here, that big slab going up to the sky. That's the final boss. It's actually not that one. It's actually just beyond it, out of frame. But we're fixing to go over here. There's the final boss. The bottom of the final boss, obstacle 4, doesn't look that bad. And with the new mods, I don't think it will be. I don't know if the camera is actually capturing just exactly how steep this is. My phone is level. We're going to climb this. Now, I would call this the final boss +1. Right here, I have to make it up that section right in the middle of the frame. Getting past this, which is impossible. Getting into that narrow groove here and climbing this very difficult. This is probably, I don't know, 45 degrees? Yeah, it's probably 45 degrees. That's legit. An RC that was not weighted correctly or not long enough just simply cannot do this. The physics don't allow it. So let me get this bad boy in position and put my camera down, and we'll see just what she has. All right, I've had to do some interesting things to get my phone mount camera thingy to cooperate and essentially stay with us here. So once I get the JK in position, I'm going to try to get her in focus here. But I might, ooh, that sounded fun. I am caught up on something down there. Yeah, just the approach to this thing is, well, difficult because the truck is so long. Bumpers and front and rear bumpers catch on things. Yeah, like right now I can't even do a bump because my rear bumper. Oh, spoke too soon. All right, here's where the thinking comes in. I'm going to unlock the rear, see if I can't sort of simulate a crab walk over towards us without tipping backwards. I still got power to the rear. That's not going to do it. I need to come down, but not all the way. Oh, see. That's an improvement. Oh, no. Oh, that's not that bad. Let me go fix it. Okay, in the interest of trying to keep you guys from getting super bored and clicking off this video, I did manage to drive it up to this point. It didn't take me but maybe 10 seconds more, and the confidence to be closer to it to do what I had to do. You know, I'm not gonna lie to you. I really don't want to crash this thing. You know, these things are what, like between $600 and $800, depending on where you find it. So let's continue. I was able to drive. You just have to trust me. I was able to drive it up to this point. It just honestly took a little bit more speed, which I wasn't comfortable doing from where I was. Like this right here. Probably gonna require a little bit more speed. Yeah. There's just little bumps in this terrain that if you don't have the speed, you just kind of have to bump it, which is to say, like, grab some speed so you can throw the rear end up over it. Now, this is the part here that you can see the front starting to unweight. Look at the rear tire. It's doing its cinnamon roll thing. And this is where things get borderline impossible. So I'm going to concentrate now and see if I can't walk this thing up a little bit. You can already see the front is really unsettled. Ideally, if I could get the rear to slide off to the left towards us, I could go around that essentially insurmountable dip right there. If you're looking on camera, it's right there. That's where the rear tire is. I just might have to drive it, go back down and drive it back towards us, and then come at it from towards us inward, which is, it's just a lot. That's just a lot of opportunity to crash this thing. But gotta hand it to the power and control of this Hobbywing Fusion 8. It is just, honestly, the stock system. I didn't get a lot of experience with the stock system because I told you in another video I accidentally broke it. Basically I shorted it out trying to test the fan's voltage, and yeah, that it broke it. But Rlaarlo sent me another one because they're a good company, and you know, I think I'm earning that kind of treatment from them with all the coverage I'm giving this thing. Yeah, it's gonna go. It's gonna go. I got my hand just out of frame. Hopefully, I need to come even wider or more vertically. Maybe more vertically. Let me stop trying to come towards me as much and just take the up. I have my rear unlocked. I've just relocked it. By doing that, I was allowing it to get led by the front as opposed to doing the pushing. Now we're on the not as bad side. I don't think I can climb this from here. I might have to go all the way up over there on the other side and try that approach, because this is sketchy. On a scale of 1 to sketchy, this is all sketchy. So I hope you're enjoying this, me risking my monetary life and limb to bring you cool videos of this thing doing stuff it was probably never meant to do. But this is one of my favorite places, and this final boss obstacle has always been one of my favorite go-tos. Oh no. Oof. How do I get up this without rolling? Because I am very close. I feel it. Hey, well, I'm going to change angles so we can watch it from over there looking this way. Okay, I lied. I'm going to try to do this one-handed and hold the camera. That way, if this thing starts to go, I can catch it before it goes into the next life. There's not a whole lot of steering throw that I'm going to have to do, so... Oof. You guys, this is hairy. I need that right to settle and not tip. This is legitimately terrifying. Oh, no, that is going to go. There's no way. Yep. Oh, my rooftop tent came open. Time for camping, guys. Need some drivers. Oof. Sometimes going uphill, if you just kind of like don't let the rear totally settle down on the suspension, it's better. But I am already here. I am already in it. Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that. Okay. Don't get too happy. Let me widen at this angle so I don't have to be so close to it for you guys. There we go. Man, these tires are just digging for their life. I mean, look at where we're trying to get to. Up there. 45 degrees. And it's not a flat plane. All right, let me take it over here. I'm going to address the rooftop tent debacle. We got some people that want to camp early, but it ain't time. We're certainly not going to be camping out up there. I'm going to position it where I'm going to attempt to make the next part of the climb, which is basically right here. I want to try to take up the middle, avoid the trap on the left and the right. And yeah, we'll see what we can do. Camera on a wide angle here. I am going to make the attempt to do this with you guys on my neck/chest mount down here towards the bottom underneath the JK-07, because if it goes, I want to be able to catch it. And realistically, the objects that I need to avoid in the terrain here / go around negotiate are on the bottom. So that's going to give me the best opportunity to make this happen. So we'll take off the little parking brake that I got going, and let's let's see if we can do this without launching a probably at this point a $900 or $1,000 RC off the cliff. See, the idea for me is to take the high line as much as possible. If I can keep my driver rear, come on, settle down. Settle. Settle. I need my front to come back to earth. All right, so there's a, I can't tell if you can tell where I'm pointing. I don't think I'm going to be able to climb that with my front already so high in the air. Let me go up a little bit higher here. You can probably see this. Yeah, you got to be able to see this. Now, if I can get my rear to sort of slide over here, I got a chance. I've turned off the rear diff to allow it to do that. I want the slip. Gravity and the rear diff off are giving me what I want. All right, so now I'm losing traction. Let me turn it back on. I'm more in line with where I want to go. Oh, oh, oh. You guys, we did it. That was it. That was +1, whatever I called it earlier. that was the final boss plus one. This whole thing was the final boss, but look at this. The rest of this is no problem. No problem at all. Okay, I'm gonna put on the parking brake. I'm gonna remove this camera from the mount and give you a really good idea of what we just did. Okay, this is where we are. This is what we just did. Unassisted, just using our lockers smartly. Came all the way up here. Let me come on down, all the way down. That's what we did. There's the ground. There's the JK-07 Pro. I think our mods have been confirmed. 1,000% worth it. Holy cow. Look at that thing. Just look at it. This thing is awesome. Baja Pro 2.2s on the 2.6s. They do require some work and some creativity to make them work. But, you know, if you can find a Pro line in a good compound that's this size and all that, there is a way to make this thing perform crazy. So, man, I'm going to go drive this thing a little bit more. Man, look at this. Look what we did. That's crazy. No winch, no hand of God. You know, there was that first part at the bottom I didn't film because I need to get close to it. I'm not ready to put myself on film just yet. Look at this. Crazy town. Anyway, I will likely end the video here, but if I find something else, I might just come back and say, just kidding. I'm going to film some more. So stay tuned or don't stay tuned. If you're still watching, appreciate you. If the video doesn't end here, I'm still going to say, go ahead and give me that like, subscribe, comment, share, all that stuff that YouTube thinks is valuable and rewards me for trying to grow this channel, trying to be informative and entertaining and show you guys some of the best value in RC that, you know, is maybe not known. So anyway, maybe I'll see you in a minute, seconds to you, or maybe I'll see you in the next video. Later. All right, psych, we are not done yet. This is an obstacle that I have done many times with 10 scales, and it was in the last video at Peachtree. This obstacle here is what I would like to call like a rite of passage for all of my RCs, at least the ones that can fit. I tried it with a 6 scale. The 6 scale, you know, the SCX6, the Jeep and the Honcho, they're just too big to make it along these very narrow, slippery, rocky surfaces and then get to the other side and get back down. You can get them on this ledge here, but you can see the JK-07. That is as wide as it gets, and then it just gets worse and sketchier and more at an angle as you go along. Now, in the previous video out here with the JK-07 on this obstacle, I do show it, but I don't show me actually clear in this part because I wasn't able to. I don't know if it was the fact that the tires are rolling over on the wheels, or I just need a little bit of weight in the front on the outsides to keep it down. But I was unable to come down and then back up successfully, come in either direction, coming down and then back up that way. I kept flipping off, so I had to edit that out of the video to give you a more streamlined, fun experience. But today we're just going to see with the new mods if I can actually pull this off. So let me get the camera going and we'll see if we can do it. All right, let's give it a shot.
Okay, that was a success. Now if I can get around this corner here and not slink back down into the slippery right here on the driver rear, I think I got a chance at this. Now looking at the way our tires look right now, it's pretty obvious to me that the dual stage staying in place and the wheel weight or the hub weight in the front has made all the difference. I may have actually selected a better line that time. Who knows, but we got it. And I was able to successfully come down this. It was tricky, and do it clean. I'm gonna make an attempt to do it right now since we're already here. If the audio sounds different, it's because I don't have my external mic hooked up. It's in my backpack, and I forgot it before I started recording. So hopefully me yelling in the mic is gonna be good enough. Alright, so I don't know if you could see, but I had to put my arm out to stop it from falling. I was able to do it previously. This time, you know, the line wasn't as good, or I just wasn't on it. Probably because you guys are watching me, so I'm just going to go ahead and blame you, my audience, who I dearly love. Alright, once again I got my phone in a very precarious position, but I'm going to try to drive this thing back up the way we came. I'm not super worried about dropping it while it's over there. Famous last words. Once we get over here into the dip that's close to us that gave us a hard time up front, that's when I'm going to get more concerned. We'll just finish up the rest of it real quick, just to prove that we made it all the way. Here she is in all her glory. Alright, I'm going to get her turned around here and give you my final thoughts on the current state of the JK-07 Pro. Alright, in short, the wheel mods, tires, doing the 3M tape, doing the dual stage with the 3M tape, stretching the 2.2s. The videos before go into that well enough. The wheel weights up front, those things were incredibly pivotal in this thing working the way that it does. I would not have been able to do what we did earlier without it. So if you have one of these, go to town, do these very basic, simple, and if you don't waste a bunch of time and money, it can be somewhat affordable to get an immense amount of performance out of this rig. But if you're still here watching, I do appreciate it. Please give me the like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.